Guys, this is Tim from Tim's Tiny Arcade. We are here at Galloping Ghost and going to be talking to Doc Mack today about the rarest games he's got in the arcade. Let's go on in and take a look.
Welcome to Tim'sTinyArcade.com podcast, YouTube. What the hell is it, Tim? What is it? YouTube. Tim's Tiny Arcade. Boom shakalaka.
This is Tim from Tim's Tiny Arcade. I'm here with Doc Mack at the Galloping Ghost.
How's it going?
Today we're going to look at 5 rare games that he has in his arcade. Now, you got how many games in here right now?
We're at 854 as of today.
854 games. It's crazy in here, guys. If you've never been to Galloping Ghost, we're here in Brookfield. And I tell you what, this is my 4th time here, and it's absolutely one of our favorite places to come.
Thank you so much, man.
But we're going to look at some games that you're not going to probably find hardly anywhere, right?
We've got a lot of ultra rare, unreleased prototypes and one-of-ones and games we've imported from other countries. So we've got a lot of that here.
Yeah, definitely. So the first one we're going to look at today is Williams Blaster.
So Williams Blaster, outrageously rare. They originally had 3 versions of the game. There's a sit-down version, the Duramold version, which Duramold cabinets are like plastic cabinets that they did a few games like Bubbles and stuff that were released in those, and those in the collecting community are considered outrageously rare. But the wooden blaster cabinet is like, it's a holy grail unto itself. There's, I believe, as few as 3 that are known to exist. Just super rare. And this one we picked up from our friend Jeremy Fox out at Prince Arcades. He was looking at arcades. Somebody had approached him to, he wanted a 60-in-1.
Right.
And he was like, hey, can you convert this to a 60-in-1 cabinet? And I'm like, no. I'm like, Jeremy, thank you so much. Like, we need that cabinet. We absolutely have to have it. It's super rare. We'll pay to have them have a 60-in-1 built for you. We'd like to buy this cabinet from them. 83 it came out. It was Eugene Jarvis and Larry DeMar were working on it. And they had put it out on console and then kind of went back and made the arcade version.
Gotcha.
And this was kind of like the Vid Kids comeback to Williams. It was Eugene Jarvis. We had him out here and he was playing it. And this stick only on Williams, on Blaster and Inferno. And we were so happy that the stick was there and intact. So outrageously rare though.
Wow,
and in such nice shape.
Yeah. Do you know how many there approximately were of these, would you say? You don't know?
I'm not aware of the actual numbers on it. It was, there were more Duramold ones out there. The sit-down, I think there's maybe a couple of those known to exist, but...
Yeah, see, I've never even heard of that game. So, I mean, I grew up in the arcades and, never saw that one either. So
very rare. It's just
and
rare.
This one looked like it's in excellent shape.
It was. I was very surprised at the condition of it. There was nothing really to restore on it. It was just little work on the board, and that was it. And it was up, good to go. Tricycle Son, which is also known as Spatter. It was released by Sega and done by the same artists that worked on Sega's Flicky.
Oh yeah, I've heard of Flicky.
This one, you see a lot of tributes to Flicky, like the bird characters, and even the gameplay to it is got that. It's similar. Like you can tell that the team that did Flicky worked on this.
So the objects of this, drive around.
So you've basically got a maze that you're going through, trying to avoid the enemies.
Okay.
And you're trying to collect all of each level's different, but like the flower pots. You can jump enemies, but it's kind of a confined space to work in. So very, very unique game. And this one, being such a huge fan of Flicky, it was always on our radar to try to find one. When this popped up just a few years ago, I think we found it in 2019.
Okay.
And it appeared on auction in Japan. And it was the first one I'd ever seen. I don't know of any collectors that have it. All the super collectors, they look for this game.
Right.
Nobody found it. And it finally popped up, and on auction in Japan, we got into a huge bidding war with another super collector from Japan. And it was just one of those that we wanted to share with everybody. It was one that I always personally wanted to play and only heard about it. And found out about it a little bit later, like it came out in 1984, but I was so happy when we were able to debut it here.
Yeah.
So definitely another one that only arcade in the world that you're going to be able to play it is
right here,
this one right here. So,
exactly. Awesome. I'll definitely have to give this one a try.
very unique, very unique.
Next one we're looking at is Freeze by Atari, right?
So, Freeze from Atari, this was supposed to come out around 1996. It's an unreleased prototype. We had got the board from a guy who used to work at Midway.
Oh, okay.
And what had happened was Midway bought Atari. So they had 6 games in development that were canceled. Metal Maniacs, Freeze, Vicious Circle, Primal Rage 2, Beavis and Butthead, and 10th Degree. So those games were all just kind of discarded because while some of them were very complete, they wanted to focus on Midway games, even though they now owned all the Atari IPs. So this one is a great puzzle game. If you're like Tetris or Columns,
right,
it's going to be right up your alley. Awesome animation and art on it. The cool thing about this one, we managed to get a original dedicated prototype cabinet when somebody from Michigan came in and said he had the cabinet, he had it with him, he wanted to donate it to the arcade, not knowing that we had the board, but it had the Freeze the Cat sticker on the back.
Right.
And he's like, I don't know if you'll ever find this game, but it would be amazing if you did, that you could rebuild the whole cabinet. So we managed to have the artwork for the marquee and remade all the control panel and side art to it and rebuilt the cabinet. And it's an amazing game, a lot of fun, and again, another one that's
you're not going to find anywhere.
Not going to find it anywhere, that's for sure. Really, the art style is just really unique and fun.
It is really unique. So you shoot from the top or from the bottom up. In this
Yes.
one. So it's a little bit different. I've not seen that kind of gameplay, I don't think, in too many games. So.
And the more that you like build up, it sends them over to your opponent. So.
Okay, yeah. So that'd be a fun 2-player game. Then.
It is. It's really fast-paced, and it takes a little bit of time to figure out the mechanics of it because it's different. It's not just like a Tetris clone. Primal Rage 2, this was one of our first prototype games that kind of put us on the map as a place that's going to find prototype games.
Right.
We got it from a guy who went by the name Tom Brady within the Mortal Kombat community, and because MK9 came out.
Right.
He had come out to the arcade and just loved the atmosphere and the community behind the place. And he was telling me, at home I have Primal Rage 2.
Right.
And it was so nonchalant, and it's like that's one of the holy grails of arcade collecting. At the time, there was only one known board set to exist.
Oh wow!
And for him to be like, yeah, I got one.
I got one, right?
It's like, I completely didn't believe him. But he was like, if I ever decide to sell it, it's going to you guys.
Wow.
So 2 months later, he reached out and he's like, you know what? I'm not playing it. It's sitting in the closet. I haven't looked at it in years. Give me whatever you want for it. And I was like, well, I don't know how to price that.
Right.
Like,
yeah. If it's like only 2 out there or whatever, how do you price something like that?
and for him, he just wanted it out where people would play it and enjoy it. And it was such an amazing thing. He let us have it for next to nothing.
Right.
And he sent the board out, and even still, when we paid for it, it was like, we're going to be getting, I don't know what we're going to be getting. And he sent a board, and it was a Sony board, which is not uncommon for Atari to use an existing board, but there was no ROMs on it. So I was like, oh, is there a hard drive or anything? He's like, no hard drive. And after a bunch of back and forth, he remembered he did have a hard drive. So he sent that along.
Right.
There was problems with the data on the drive. So it was a big concern, and we thought we would never be able to get it up and running initially. And after a few hours, it fired up, and it was Primal Rage 2. It was really what he said he had.
Wow, that's amazing.
We had custom made off of one picture that appeared on, I believe it was from a California Extreme show. The guy who has the actual original cabinet, we remade all the artwork to make it as accurate as possible.
And it looks amazing. I mean, you guys did a really good job on it.
Appreciate
It
that.
does. It looks good. The artwork on this. Now, I had Primal Rage in my original arcade where I grew up, and it was a big game. I remember being a big game. A lot of people always around playing Primal Rage.
Everybody, so many people love Primal Rage. Even our Primal Rage cabinet, the last iteration of Primal Rage that came out was 2.3. But there was a very, very rare 2.3J version that came out in Japan that altered the controls. So instead of like holding 2 buttons and doing a move, it played more like Street Fighter, where it was just quarter circles.
Right.
We actually have the 2.3J version, and it's the only version of it that is known to exist. It's not on any of the emulators or anything.
Wow.
So, but having these side by side is pretty awesome. And since we put Primal Rage 2 out, one of the creators, Chris Tang.
Yes, I've met him before.
Amazing
Super nice
guy. Inducted into the International Video Game Hall of Fame, and we flew him out here, and he shared so much information on this game's development and the videos of how they did all the character animation and everything, and so great to see this game kind of get the recognition that it deserved after people finally got to play it and enjoy it, because initially it was kind of, when it got canceled, people thought it was canceled because it wasn't a great game.
Gotcha, yeah.
And
wasn't ready.
It was honestly just ahead of its time. Like the combos and the way the game plays, it had a lot of depth to it. So while people were more used to just Street Fighter and Killer Instinct, this thing, it was its own unique thing. And now, once we put this on the floor, people could, we had our guys from our fighting team just spend a lot of time on it, and they showed why it's a great game.
Right.
So,
what percentage do you think of this was done? I mean,
it was
90s.
It was, yeah, I'd say probably like high 80s, 90s. They still needed to do more on the endings. Talking with Chris, he wanted to do a lot of balancing yet, but it's definitely solid and playable, and
yeah, it looks amazing.
Yeah, there's so much effort to do all this stop motion artwork. It's unbelievable that a game like this could just kind of disappear.
Right, not come out.
Yeah.
Except here at Galloping Ghost.
Except here at Galloping Ghost.
released this one this last week.
This just came out on Monday. This was Mad Motor, which was released or wasn't released from Mitchell back in 1989. Only up until now, there was only 2 known board sets out there. We managed to find a third out in Spain, and we had missed one in Japan once, and regretted it ever since. It was something that's so rare. The gameplay looks so unique, especially for 1989.
Yeah.
There's basically like no information out there on this aside from knowing that it went out on a couple of test locations and then just completely disappeared.
Wow.
So not even fully finished. I don't believe an ending to it yet.
Okay.
And even some of the stuff you could see where it's just not 100% finished.
Right.
But very playable and fun to have here. And this is one of the things that it's so cool to kind of give that experience of having a test game on location. And obviously Mad Motor will never be fully released or anything.
Right.
But to have a game like this show up at your arcade back in the day and get to play it before it was done, it's one of those things that it was just an incredible thing if you happen to be in an arcade, and this kind of brings that back.
Yeah, I mean, where do you find all these games? I know you just find these like online, these boards.
There's a kind of a bunch of super collectors that I know that they've just got rarities like this.
Right.
We get approached by some places that
Come to you.
They come to us. They want to make sure it's going to go to a place where everybody's going to be able to enjoy it, which is incredible that we've obviously seen people and know of people that have games, and they just kind of. It's great. Like, nothing against the collector side. But
you got the public that can play it there.
Absolutely. We had, on Primal Rage 2, we had, the night after we unveiled that game, we had somebody call up and offer us $60,000 for the board.
Wow.
And we were in the middle of doing an expansion, and that would basically cover the expansion. But it was so important to keep that game here, then let everybody play it.
Right.
And we turned the offer down, obviously.
Right.
But I think in doing that kind of let people know how serious we were. It's not about taking a game and flipping it and getting a profit from it.
Right.
It's about making it available for everybody to come out and try it and play that game that they always wanted to play but maybe never saw.
Right. That's awesome. I mean, that's a great story right there, because, I mean, there would have been some people probably would have flipped it. And, I mean, your passion for the arcade, to keep it in your arcade and have it, I mean, that's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
for taking us
Thank
around
you.
and showing us. Guys, that was a super fun, awesome experience for myself. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I want to thank Doc Mac for taking the time to walk through and show us just a few of the games that are rare here at Galloping Ghost. As you can see from these pictures, this place is amazing. To do a walk through this video, it would probably take about 4 to 5 hours. So many games, and it's only $20, guys, to come and unlimited play, and you can stay all day, in and out as you want with your receipt. He also has a pinball, Galloping Ghost pinball down the road. You can pay, like, I believe another $10 or so and go into that and experience a lot of pinball. There's no pinball in the actual arcade part here. But guys, this was an awesome trip. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and again, I want to thank Doc Mac for taking the time. Can't wait to go back up to Galloping Ghost again. They're going to have an expansion. We were kind of talking about that, hopefully at the beginning of the new year, guys. So definitely we'll be making another trip up there. Thank you for liking this video, guys, and staying to the end. Please like and subscribe. Until next time, guys, keep on gaming.